Welcome to Wilson's channel.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Chat with Wilson. This is my rebranded podcast. Hi, guys. My name is Wilson. I'll be the host for this and for the future episodes. Today, for episode 6, we got a special guest, Mika, aka m1kamura. What's up, Mika?
Hello, what's up? How's your day?
What's up? What's up? Day's going well. Got my nap in, and we are ready to roll on Twitch. So, seriously, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Very excited.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got the exclamation podcast command just so you guys know what to expect on the podcast, and it is a summary of why I host these. In short, it's just for me to get to know my friends on a more personal level and just to chat about various life topics. Other than that, we got exclamation guest, which is a direct link to Mika and our future guest's Twitch channels. She is a streamer, so you guys make sure to drop a follow. Mika, I'm aware that you're about to hit 1K, so are you excited and hyped for that?
Yes, I get to host my first Valorant tournament instead of co-hosting.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Guys, Mika's gonna host a Valor tournament when she hits 1K, so hopefully that'll be sooner than later. All right, right on, guys. We're gonna jump right into it. Again, thank you guys for being here. We have a live chat, and this will also be on YouTube afterwards within the next few days. So, without further ado, Mika, let us know a little bit about yourself and include some of your hobbies and interests.
Mm, I am a variety streamer. Um, no, I used to be a makeup artist. My hobbies is mostly makeup, um, cooking, um, gaming, obviously, and spending time with people that I love.
Indeed, indeed. You've been streaming for a bit, and I noticed that you mentioned cooking and makeup. What about what dishes do you like cooking?
I like my cultural food. My culture is Laos. I'm
Hmm.
Laotian. Um, but I cook variety of foods. I like learning new dishes. Um, my main dishes I like cooking is Asian food, which would span out from Cantonese, Korean, Japanese, Viet, Laos,
Hmm.
Thai food. Um, just more of all of the Asian countries.
Did you cook for yourself today?
Today, no. My mom cooked for me today. Well, she already had food ready, but
Okay.
what's it?
Maybe
Mm,
like a
we had
signature
Super
dish?
Bowl. Of signature dish, I make papaya salad, which is
Oh, that's
uh,
fire. Hmm.
yeah, I make it really spicy though.
I was gonna ask you that. How spicy? Papaya salad, nice. Okay, and you also mentioned makeup. So Mochi did ask where you got your lashes. If you want to talk on that for a little bit.
This lashes is a filter. Usually,
Wait,
if I get my
what?
lashes done, usually I have my lashes done by my niece, because my family they like to do lashes and nails.
Mhm.
So when I have lashes, I won't have the filter on, but I usually get them installed.
Dang, that's sick. I remember that
Chile?
you've always had your filters and stuff. What the? I wouldn't have guessed. I wouldn't have guessed at all. All right. So that's a little bit about cooking and then you enjoying your makeup. We'll definitely talk about Twitch and all the gaming very, very soon. Let's get to know you, what type of person you are. So, would you consider yourself more of like an introvert or an extrovert? How are you in person?
Mm, I guess you can say I'm very extroverted, but I do have my introverted moments. I have a social battery before I shut down and become introverted, but it takes a little bit of time. I would say like EDC Las Vegas was like me running really hard on my social battery, and then when I got home, I little shut down.
Oh, EDC. Okay. No, that's valid. I remember seeing you then, and yeah. we'll talk about EDC as well. So, what is your current day to day looking like?
Current day to day as I wake up, get ready for work, sit at my desk, go to work, and play Power World, and then get off of work, and then cook, and then clean, and then get on to stream. Usually stream like every day, except for the weekends.
That's a whole lot of streams. Okay, and you mentioned that your social battery, it really depends, right? So,
Hmm.
like, do you feel like you're very different when it comes to group settings versus a one on one conversation like this?
Yeah, in group settings, I am very adaptive. So when it comes to like group settings, I tend to observe the room before I initiate anything to
Hmm.
catch the vibe, you know? When it comes to like one-on-one, it's a little bit easier to catch a vibe because there's only one person you need to focus on.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like a group setting, you have to get the majority of like the aura of the room.
Yeah, I gotta be able to read the room. I see what you mean. I'm similar to that, just reading the room before kind of like putting yourself in like whatever position. But one on one settings, I notice this is just me, right? I notice when I talk to you sometimes, especially on stream versus in person. On stream, it sounds like you're very professional. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, my customer service voice.
Yes, exactly,
I have a
exactly.
lot of voices, okay? A lot of people know I
Hmm.
have a lot of voices. I have AI voice. Um, I work on the phone, so like naturally my phone's like automatically turn on my phone voice when it comes to streaming and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Not too like crazy where it's like I'm working, but like it's more of like I have a southern accent sometimes, so that doesn't pop out when I use this voice.
the southern accent. Can you like just switch gears easily and do those accents?
It's kind of hard,
No, no,
but
you're good. You don't have to. You don't have
like
to.
the regular voice is hard because I tend to talk like this most of the time throughout the
Yeah.
day. So it's so hard. It's like my regular voice at this point. But I have like AI voices. I can even have a deep voice. It's kind of weird, but
I recall you doing the TikTok trend, the NPC thing. Yeah,
thank you for the roses.
yeah, you're doing lots of stuff. Let's say, including the roses. All right. So, other than that, we'll just get right into some talks about your childhood and your upbringing. So, including school. So, let me ask you this, and let's see what you say. What is significant about your childhood?
Mm,
What comes to mind?
I was raised in a very, I would say, cultural environment when it came to when I was a kid. I grew up around a lot of my culture I spoke my own language, which was rare for the kids during that time, because my parents owned the Asian store.
So,
So,
Lao.
yeah,
Yeah.
I speak Laos and Thai before I learned English. So we ran a store, and I would be like those Asian kids you see on the memes, where it's like if you see the Asian kid working in front of the Chinese store, you know the food's gonna be good.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Authentic
was
and
like one of those
everything.
kids. Yeah, exactly. So I was literally one of those kids that would be in the front of the cashier and speak. Um, just learned how to be very connected to my culture. So I would say that is what we lose. A lot of people lose touch in. So that
Mm-hmm.
would make my childhood significant to me.
And I don't know you like super well, but I do feel like with your background, it seems like you were forced to grow up really quick. Do you know what I mean? Like you're forced
I was.
to mature and be like an adult figure. Why is that though?
Um, the biggest thing is that my parents didn't stay together. And then
Mm.
through circumstances that was on my father's part, um, We were actually supposed to move to California when I was younger, and then my mom found out that my dad was cheating, and they divorced, and he took all the money that we were supposed to use to go to California.
Mm-hmm.
So that didn't
Wow.
happen. Um, so then my parents divorced, and my mother was a single mother of three at the time, basically, because she had three kids with her.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
My siblings were like teenagers, older teenagers, so they were rebellious. And then a lot of things, I have six siblings, but most of them decided to, I don't know if it's a trend of like first generations or like the generation come to America, but they have kids really early,
Yeah.
and then they find a way like to leave the household basically to make their own household. So a lot of my family did that. So when it came to like 10 years old, it was just me and my mom and my stepdad, which they don't speak English. So I was forced to be
Translate for
older,
them.
translate for them. I did
Yeah.
everything myself when it came to school. Um, my mom's signature, I had to tell her, but I had to write it.
Oh, and even the signature. Wow. Okay, so to be clear, you said you have like six siblings, and you're. That sounds like you're in the middle, right? Because your older siblings like got their own
The
families and moved
youngest.
out. Oh, of the six?
hmm Of seven, actually. Seven of us. I'm the youngest.
Oh, so you don't have like any step siblings or anything?
Um, I do.
Okay. Or
Talking
half
about
siblings,
bloodline.
steps. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no,
Well,
I
my dad
understand.
doesn't know how many kids he has, actually. So the ones that I know is seven. That's in America that came and is in the family with us. He probably has like 15, he said, but that's in
Wow.
Asia.
Okay, so I'm piecing all this information together. You said you're supposed to move to Cali. So where did you basically grow up, and are you still there?
I grew up in Charlotte, North Carolina, and yes, I am still here. I actually bought a house here 2 years ago.
Oh wow, congrats. North
Thank you.
Carolina. Okay. What is it like in North Carolina? How would you describe like the city itself or like the people?
The city is growing as in like the next Atlanta. A lot of people from California and New York move here, so the population has increased to almost 1 million now, and we're like a little bit bigger than Atlanta. We have actually doubled our population. Um, we like to say that North Carolina is like the California version of the South because our of our political standing, I guess you can say.
Mhm.
So it's very growing, it's very south, but it's also a lot of wilderness, and like there are main cities that you would rather live in than live in the country because the country can be where it gets sundown towns,
Mhm.
if you know what that is.
Care to explain that?
Sundown towns are like towns where there's like usually like not a really big city or anything like that. It's small towns where at night when the sun goes down, crimes against other people that are different races can go about without getting in trouble because the police ignore it.
Oh my goodness. Okay. No, I've never heard of that term. That is new. Wait, that's scary. So that's kind of like a curfew then, like a set curfew made by the people itself.
Yeah, there's a lot of cities like that in the South,
Mhm.
or a lot of towns in the South like that. So when people that are of other culture or races,
Yeah.
they tend to move into the cities because the cities are more liberal and everything like that.
So what's the predominant like population or race within the
White.
population? Uh-huh. Would you say it's very diverse though?
Charlotte itself is diverse because there's more people moving in than the people that live here.
Oh, okay.
So there is sections into my city. The west side is like where all the Hispanics, Black, Southeast Asians live.
Hmm.
And then in south of the side of my city, there's where the white and the Indians live in the Mediterranean, Middle East. Then east side is where Hispanics live, and then north side is where all the white people live.
Got it all mapped out. I see.
And
So,
Koreans live up there too.
so as a child, you had to grow up fast. Your parents divorced. You were young at the time, right? So how did you process that? And do you have like any contact whatsoever
Oh,
of your
with my
dad
father?
since he left all those years ago?
He didn't really move that far, but minimal. Um, he actually used my name for his retirement. He had no custody of me, so he actually owes me money according to the state. But
Mm-hmm.
I haven't, I haven't took him to court yet because I don't want to take him to court because that's just trauma and just a lot of stuff going on with that.
Yeah.
So I'd rather not and just let him. Karma will do its own good.
Mm-hmm. Live
It
his
would be
life.
over $50,000.
I see. So while you were the one that was like forced to basically help your parents because you had to like translate and grow up fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you get along with your parents well? Your stepdad, your mom?
My stepdad and my mom, I got along with my mom, but not really with my stepdad. Um, he was very racist and very controlling. Um, I used to literally my friend was next door, was having a sleepover. I was about to have a sleepover. My mom said yes, and then she changed her mind because my stepdad said they're gonna kill your daughter while she sleeps, so don't let her go over there. So this is like the
Jeez.
beginning of like how my social being enclosed, so I didn't have really of a social battery outside of school because
Yeah.
I was always kept to not go anywhere.
You were like a sheltered kid, so you couldn't really be out there with like different friends and stuff.
Yeah, so like I would say like the only way I would be able to get out would be through my siblings. When my sibling used to live with me, we used to go out and play basketball, walk the neighborhood and stuff like that, and I would go
Mhm.
meet up friends while we did that and stuff like that. So that was about like the only way. The only way I could hang out with anybody else was with his Asian kids or yeah, Asian
Yeah.
kids.
So what other like now that you're a grown up and everything, right? When do you feel like changes happen for you? Like where you were able to just do everything on your own without like limitations or restrictions?
I would say about 16 when I moved out. Well, I moved out like 14. Um,
That's
mm,
early.
14, 15. I went to go live with my sister, and I went to a different school. Before then, I was doing magnet schools, so that I would have more time away from home. So I had good grades, so I would go to the best school in the town, and they would pick me up. Um, but it was like 5 o'clock, earlier than 5 o'clock in the morning. I have to be outside waiting for the bus to pick me up and take me to the school.
Wow.
um, o- Other than that, I decided to move out in after living, well, the second year of high school, and then I lived with my sister, and then I did college after those last 2 years. So my junior and senior year, I was never on high school campus. I was always on college campuses.
Oh, I see. So you're really ahead when it like came to your education.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when you made that decision to move out, what was like the response from your parents? Like did they take it lightly, especially since they were really dependent on you?
Um, no. I mean, they took it. They were fine with it. The only
I
reason
see.
why is because the main reason that was forbidding me from staying is because I did magnet schools. They transfer my papers and everything like that, and my stepdad didn't own the house that we live in. His sister did, and she lives all the way in another state. So
Hmm.
she had to. It was a lot of process, and they didn't want to deal with it. So I was like, you know what? I'll just move out. Little sister.
Okay. So after you moved out with your sister, went to school and everything, what was the highest level of like education you got to?
I did about 2 years of college. I didn't get to finish. I was supposed to go to university. I got accepted to all the universities I did, and I chose the
Nice.
furthest one I wanted to go to. 3 days before my move-in date, I had got an email regarding my financial aid. My financial aid had got declined and rejected literally 3 days before I got in or moved in, and then find out it was because my father used my name on his retirement. So the IRS was like, "Where did that money go?" And also, I was being claimed by my mother while the state had me as an emancipated child. So two Wambos.
Whoa. Switch up of information. Wow. So that kind of screwed you over for sure. How did your life go on from there? Like, what was the
um,
move for you?
I went straight into working.
Workforce. Mm-hmm.
I got my corporate job by the summer, and I was working at corporate for a whole year, um, and like side gigs and everything like that. Bitcoin and Dogecoin was popular during them, and like Forex, which is like currency trading,
Yeah.
was popular. So those were like side gigs for me. Like I did that on the side as earning money, um, as working my corporate.
Okay.
I got I bought a house the year after graduating in around April, and then soon lost my job through being laid off later that year.
Mm-hmm.
But I did have a cushion, so I was unemployed for like more than a year. And that's where I'm at now.
Okay. Okay. Question. So, which school were you gonna go to before the financial aid flopped?
It's a school called Appalachian State, which is in the mountains. I went there because one of my closer friends, which is probably my family friends too,
Mm-hmm.
she went there, and it's like far enough where people won't drive to me to go bother me, but close enough for me to be able to come home to family.
I see. I see. And then when did you, or like, where did you get the house? Is it within the same city?
Yeah, it's actually in a very good spot considering the price that I got it for. It's near the highway, 10 minutes away from the city. And since the city is growing, they built out on the main street that's close to my house. So I bought my house for 135,000. My house is worth 500,000 on the market.
Awesome. Okay. And who are you living with now? Ever since you moved into your new house?
At first it was just me and my mom, and then I had my brother live with me and my sister, and now it's just me, my mom, and my sister and her 3 kids.
Oh, okay. Where's your stepdad in the picture then?
Uh, my stepdad passed away about 2 years ago. Yeah,
Oh, I see. I see. Wow, your life. There's been a lot of changes in your life. Definitely from what it sounds like. Moving, work,
definitely.
everything. So we talked about like the biggest challenges, right, for you growing up, but as of now, what would you say is like your biggest challenges?
Um, I would say my biggest challenge is renovating this damn house.
Renovations. I see.
It's an old house, so there was a lot of renovations we had to do when we first bought the house.
Hmm.
Renovated the kitchen, renovated the bathroom, redid the windows. Found a lot of flaws in the house when we're renovating.
Yeah.
Had to get those fixed. Have you watched? Have you ever watched the movie Encanto? It's like a Disney movie. Um.
Which one is that
Anyways,
again? Is it the one with
it's
the the grandma?
Yeah, the one with the grandma, and then every sibling has a power or something like that. Cousin. Every child has a special door and some powers.
Oh, okay,
So
okay. No, I haven't watched that. I haven't watched that.
there's a scene where the house breaks apart like in half. So I like to say, oh, it's kind of like our house because whoever did the AC or whoever they didn't properly do it. So the floor under my house was very wet. And so the soil was soft and my house was breaking in half. So like
Mhm.
literally this wall behind me, there's literally a crack in the wall.
Okay. But so where do you stream in your house?
It's kind of, I guess you can say it's like a loft area.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not necessarily a room, but it's a room that's connected to all the other rooms. It's kind of like a room in the hallway. Guess that's what you call a loft, but
So
not sure.
like your family like can hear you and everything too, or are they around?
Yeah, my nephew's on the left side of me, my mother's on the right side of me. Um, when my sister moves out, though, I would get my room back. Well, after I renovate the room.
For sure, for sure. Again, guys, thanks for tuning into the stream. You guys are watching. I appreciate the lurks too. And it's Corn. Thank you for the follows. What's up, everybody? All right, we're gonna talk about social media and some Twitch. Just a quick reminder, guys. Mika is on her way to hit 1,000 follows on Twitch, so I would really appreciate it if you guys could drop a follow if you haven't already. She mentioned that she's gonna be hosting her very first Valorant tournament on her own once she hits that milestone. So make sure to drop a follow, guys. Thank you, thank you. All right, Mika. So what's the story for Twitch? How did you get yourself into it, and specifically streaming?
Hmm. So, funny thing is, I actually Twitch streamed like once or twice, like years ago on a PlayStation while I'm playing Fortnite. During a summertime, I was in like high school.
Yeah.
Um, and then when I had recently got my house, I started streaming a little bit, on my console. Um, that was about 2021. Yeah, 2021. So a year after I bought the house,
Mm.
I started deciding, oh, I want to see if I can stream. And I was a content streamer. I played Apex religiously every single day. And then I got a notification of a DM. And
Okay.
then this person had said that they donated me $2,000 to move to PC.
Whoa.
That
Uh
happened
huh.
in around November-ish of 2021 into 2022.
Was it a friend or
So
like a random person?
a random person, and I never saw them again after that.
Wow,
It's just like,
generous anonymous donation, something like that.
hmm um, so I moved to PC. I bought my pre-built PC, desk, everything, the shabam. And then I transitioned to playing on the PC, mouse and keyboard for the first time ever, playing Valorant.
Hmm.
It was very interesting. Running gun was like everything I did.
The move, yeah.
And after that, I became affiliate shortly after I moved to PC because I posted a video on TikTok and then people were coming in from TikTok. And then that's the story of me becoming affiliated right after I moved to PC.
Awesome. Okay. Help with TikTok. And so that's how you got started. So what's the timeline all like in between from then and now? Like what happened to get you to where you're at today?
Mm. So, okay. So the funny thing is, the first person I ever met while streaming, well, early on in streaming was Jason. Do my Jason?
Okay.
So he met me, we met each other when I was bronze 2, or yeah, bronze 2, just starting off Valorant, playing Sage. The only person I knew how to play was Sage.
Hmm.
And it's actually funny that um, a year later, me and him would be in the same friend group and be around each other all the time. And then a couple months after that, we would meet each other in real life. So it was a very interesting start for me. And like the way that the paper unfolded to actually get to meet him.
Yeah.
Other than that, it started off with Jason, and then I started becoming more active in TikTok, trying to push out content. And then I saw your name around sometimes, liked it, followed you on TikTok, and it continued on. I met friend groups in my adventure of being on PC for the first time. Um, I was really good friends with them.
Uh-huh.
Turns out it was not a very good friendship. It was one-sided. But you
Oh,
live and you learn. Um,
yeah.
and then shortly after that, I just focused on streaming. Um, I joined a Valorant tournament of yours back in 2022, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's where I met Susie, hello Emmy, and we became really good friends. And then after that, I started um, growing more, meeting more people through the community, um, and more time. I met the friend group that I swear to now, which is um, Solo and Maple. Those are my masters. uh, love them a lot. Actually got to meet them also, and then from there on, I have just been part of the community since then.
Lots of amazing people you met along the way.
hmm And I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah. Live and learn moments. Pretty cool that you met Jason back then and then reconnected through different friend groups. Um, you mentioned that you said you found me through TikTok. Is that really like how it happened? I actually don't remember like the first interaction.
Okay, so the thing is, I found you through TikTok, but I
Yeah.
didn't really think. I was like, okay, I didn't really look through your page or anything like that. I was like, okay, this is cool. So I followed you. I liked it, the video, but then we didn't get into knowing each other until what was it? It was a little bit before the Valorant tournament, but I think someone rated you, and I was like, "Oh, this is Wilson Chang." And
Okay.
so then I followed, and then the story goes from that, and then I joined the first Valorant tournament. I think you had us with coaches, if I'm not mistaken, or was it a low elo tournament?
Probably one or the
Was
other. I
Sol-
remember hosting like different ones.
yeah, I think Soltic. I don't know if Soltic was our coach during that time.
Mm.
Susie remembers it better than me. But yeah, that's when we've officially, and then after that, it was the game shows that
Oh
we got to know more of each other
yes.
about.
Facts, facts. That's awesome. And guys, welcome in Jay Maple, Beaston. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. So as of now, today, right? How would you like what kind of streamer would you label yourself as? And what's your like main category and schedule? You mentioned every day. You could also like talk about what time.
I usually stream at least 8 p.m. EST,
Okay.
which is really early for some people in the West Coast, considering that a lot of my community is in the West Coast also.
Mm-hmm.
um, I would label myself as a variety streamer. Um, that's very sus. Very sus.
Very sus.
Sings a lot. I like music, so music is my, I guess you can say, my way of escaping slash well
Mm.
gaming too, but like what did they call it? Music is my way of going through life basically. Music was
Your
the way I
escape.
expressed myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. My escape, my way of solving everything was music. Through like hardships, breakups and everything like that. It was always
Mm-hmm.
music. So I'm very big on music. The funny thing is I used to think when I was younger that I would become a musician,
Yeah.
and do music and be like a singer. But turns out like English is like I'm terrible at English, so like writing lyrics is like terrible for me. Like I suck at it.
Uh huh. But you still like to sing.
But yeah, I still like to sing.
Yeah. You were singing before this too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I think I saw that. I saw that. All right, so variety streamer. What what are your like main games? Would you say are right now?
Valorant, League, and Power World.
Valorant, League, Power World. You stream Power World too?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So when did you start like? Why do you label yourself as sus? Do you think that's like more of a Twitch online thing, or is that just who you are?
Actually, the funny thing is, it used to be how I was when I was younger. I was very sus, but
Mm-hmm.
my sister would always like make fun of, like bully me for it. I wouldn't say bully, but she'd be like, "Why are you like this?" So I refrained myself from being like that when it comes to like public view.
Yeah.
But like if I'm with like friends, of course I'd be like sus with them and stuff like that. But I'm not like crazy at how I used to be. Um, but I wouldn't say it's an online persona either,
Mm-hmm.
considering that I used to be like it. I guess you can say it was like a held back persona.
Okay. So with that being said, how would you compare Mika in person versus Mika online? So as a streamer.
Mika online can be a little bit immature, but Mika in real person is most of the time very immature person. Like you'll think I'm a very older person than I am, due to the way that I present myself and talk.
Yeah.
And that mainly comes because I had to have a public viewing myself from being in a family that was in the Asian community, having to present yourself as upper and better than you are at all times, so that no one thinks that you're doing worse than you are.
Yeah. Wow, yeah. Speaking back of like how you grew up and stuff, especially being a minority, you mentioned the Asians, right? Did you personally have
Mhm.
to deal with like a lot of discrimination?
So in my childhood school, it was an all-white school. Um, and yes, I did face discriminations in there. I was actually in ESL for a very long time because the teachers won't let me out of it, even though I speak perfect English. And was like probably I was scoring, I was in spelling bees, but they kept me in ESL. Kids were mean during that time, but then it was only for a couple years in elementary, and then everything went downhill, and then I moved schools
Yeah.
because my parents moved away from each other. And then after that, I've been to like many schools throughout my years of middle school, elementary school, high school.
So jumping around a lot. What would you say
hmm
was your like what was your reputation while you were in school?
Um, my reputation was I'm the very like A on a roll student, um,
Mm-hmm.
like the smart kid. But I did like bad stuff, but like nobody knew about it because they would never think it was me.
Okay. Now we know. Now we know. Okay, so back to the topic about Twitch, more so Twitch and social media. So on the flip side, as of now, which streamers, like what type of streamers do you find yourself watching nowadays, or categories, if any?
I usually watch my friends.
Okay.
I like talking to my friends, especially when I'm working. So like the person that like usually streams while I'm working would be like Chris Tofu.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I watch my other friend. I mean, Mango usually streams around the same time as me. Maple streams when I go to sleep when I watch them. I also watch because he streams while I work, is Off Soju. I don't know if you saw him tweet on your on Twitter, but he had tweeted under it talking about he wants to do it too. He's a good friend that I met recently while streaming. I like to, I like to, I want to say I like to meet new people. So when I raid, I like to raid like newer people, to that freshly starts off or stuff like that, just to get to know them and everything like that. Because I know when I first started off, there wasn't really people that I knew, so it
Mm-hmm.
can be a little bit like you're in a bubble.
Yeah.
So warming them up to a community and getting to know them makes it all better for them, and I love to see their energy change when that happens.
Yeah, that sounds like a wholesome moment whenever you support like new streamers or those who are kind of like beginning. So
Mhm.
I totally understand that. So for you, since you've been streaming for a while, do you have any current goals when it comes to streaming?
I would say my goal is to build a bigger community, strong community. I know there's a lot of people that long to be noticed or long to have a community to be with all the time. It gets lonely out there. So I like to be the community that accepts everyone and, it's a safe community for everybody.
Yeah, that's nice. That's really touching. Exclamation guess, guys. Drop Mika a follow. Join the community. Okay. So, other than that, what would you say is like what are the pros and cons for you when it comes to streaming? Like your personal pros and cons.
Uh, I don't see any cons because I enjoy streaming. I enjoy playing games. I enjoy talking to people. Um,
Okay.
I guess you can say one of the cons is being a woman and doing it because we just get discriminated all the time. But um, other than that, I don't really see no cons. I mean, my family call me antisocial and they don't understand why I like streaming. But that's because, they don't have the same interests as me, so they don't understand.
Yeah. Ooh, okay, two things. You mentioned like your parents and stuff. Like, how did you explain it to your family what streaming is? And it doesn't sound like they're as accepting, even though you're still doing it. But like, what was that conversation like?
Um, my mom didn't really mind. She just thought I was gaming all the time.
Okay.
So she didn't really. The thing is, after my stepdad had passed away and I had bought the house and we moved in together, my mom's viewership of everything was very close-minded and very traditional. So with me, I like to influence her to open up her mind and be more open-minded to everything. So I literally sprinkled, changed her thoughts and views and stuff like that. Um, so became very as an accepting person, free willing,
Mm-hmm.
um, and stuff like that. And I like to see her like that because she seems a lot more happier than being confined to a relationship where the Asian guy is very demanding and force her to be traditional. So that is one. My family with like my siblings, they just call me antisocial because I stream a lot. But every time that I go out with them or do anything with them, it's always drinking or rolling, and I don't want to do that.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. You just briefly talked about the cons, so like the negative streaming, where you said you face like discrimination. Can you talk more on that and explain what you experienced?
So, one of the experience I've had of being just a girl playing games is, already that people are like very hateful to girls. They'll be like, go to the kitchen and stuff like that. Normal, whatever. At this point, we're all used to it.
Mm-hmm.
But there was an experience that I had when I first started streaming, like earlier on, where we were playing a comp game and I had got my Discord raided with a bot screaming, like
Ooh.
even like audio bots that
Mm.
joined VCs and just started screaming like the N words and stuff like that. And then in the chat, in the Valorant chat, they're like, "Oh, this is because you're a girl, woman. You should be on here." And so it wasn't like anything hurtful, but it was just like astounded, like this is really happening. You just wasted this time just to do that, just to lose in the Valorant comp game still.
Mm-hmm.
It was more of like almost like a flashbang, like a concussion grenade, because you were just like shocked, like what the heck is going on? So that was the first time I actually implemented mods and discords and actually
Yeah.
setting my Discord up for stuff like that to avoid in the future that happening.
Smart. Okay. Definitely experienced that as well. People just do the craziest things like raid either your stream or Discord. So you experience like a fair share of everything, including gaming, of course. hmm by the way, happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Appreciate y'all.
Happy Valentine's Day.
All right. So I know other negatives that I would typically hear have to do with metrics and numbers, right? Has that ever affected you personally?
What do you mean matrix and numbers? Like
So like viewership
being
count and stuff like that, followage.
I don't really focus on that. I'm not here to be popular. I'm here to connect with people.
hmm
So like of course, I look at it once in a while, it's whatever. But I'm not solely focusing my emotion and like energy on it because, you know, if you it'd be like those days where like if you're nobody's watching you, you start to feel like, oh, I don't even want to stream no more.
hmm
But like for me, I'm go with the flow a lot of times, so I don't try to keep mine on it because I'm here for the people.
Yeah, you say that, and I genuinely believe you. I've seen you stream like at every hour of the day, just like whenever, whether it's like to people or to yourself, just like minding your own business, and it seems like you're always having a good time. So that's awesome. Yeah, huge respect to you for that. So since you've been streaming for a while and we talked about like the good things where you can meet people, build a community, and also the lows, what advice would you give to new streamers or up and coming streamers?
Be open minded. Be open minded as a person. I mean, you can definitely create a community of closed minded people, but at the end of the day, it just falls back on you. Being open minded is a good thing to do when creating a community and being a new streamer. Another thing is don't focus yourself on the views. Don't focus on who's supporting you and not, because at the end of the day, that just hurts you more than it hurts them.
Real.
Yeah, because I had a situation before recently that has happened to me where they're very focused on the way that I support them, and they're
Mm-hmm.
like, "You don't watch me," and I'm like, "I lurk, I work, I stream, I do all of that." So I lurk most of the time. And they're like, "Well, no, you don't, because I check my list." You know how like
Oh
they
my
have the list on
god.
the side of the chat that says community, and it has like a list of people that are watching you.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. That's tough. You got called out for
When's
that?
Yeah, but when's the last time that was accurate?
No, I don't know. Like even if you do check, I'm sure it's not as accurate from time to time. But how did uh
Yeah.
how did it go on from there? Like did you lose that friendship or what?
I decided it's not worth my energy because I had problems with them before,
Mm-hmm.
regarding the same situation. So I was like, at this point, it feels like our friendship is follow for follow and not genuine. Like,
Genuine. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I decided to push away from that because that's not the type of community I want to be in my community. I don't want people to feel like you need to follow for a follow. No, we're just here for the vibes. We're here to have a good time, talk to each other, have music together. That's what I came here to do, and that's what
Mm-hmm.
my community is here for. Um, it's nothing for statistics, for matrix, or nothing like that. I'm not here for the money either or anything like that. I mean, if I grow to be a more bigger streamer, that comes with it. I mean, that's great, but I'm not in here to force everybody to like do stuff for me.
Yeah. To like you or anything, you're just gonna do you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Awesome. All right, we're gonna transition to friendships. So I feel like that is like a little bit already a snippet of your thoughts about friendships. So we could start with that. So when it comes to making friends and everything, let's start with what are like some of your personal red flags?
Mm. Personal red flags. So I'm good at reading people before anything happens, just by the vibe, because I observe a lot. Like how I said, when I observe like community, like in a big setting, I can observe and feel like what the vibe is. Same thing
Yes.
with people is I'm really good at reading people. So of course there's some people that I can't read well, but a lot of the times I read people perfectly. So I steer myself away from people that are red flags, which would be like someone that's very controlling, someone that's always begging or like begging for attention.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing is like people that try to make other people feel bad for them all the time, because that's a sign like they're good at manipulating people to believe them. So I had friendships like that when I first started PC. Like she was very sweet, very nice, and she was very mind controlling, I guess you can say. Um, Very manipulative,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a lot of it had to do because she was very pretty and everything like that, and sweet, pretty voice and everything like that. But at the end of the day, it's not worth my energy and time for me to be following you around.
So for like when those instances happen where you feel like there's negative energy and stuff in the past, have you gotten out of those like on your own, like before getting hurt, or do you feel like it's gotten to the point where you just really, really felt like negative and affected by it, and then you just like stirred away from that friendship?
I would say there's both. There are certain friendships that I steer away easily from,
Mm-hmm.
because they make it very clear when I'm reading them and stuff like that that they're not the type of person that I would vibe with. And then there's people where I actually built a deep connection with them, and it really hurted me when they were expecting a different kind of friendship than what I was expecting.
Yeah, so that led to a fallout. When that happens,
Mhm.
though, and I know you're good at reading people, right? Would you say you're confrontational, or how do you kind of like let it? How do you address it?
It honestly depends on the person. I can be confrontational if I'm really mad. That's just the fire sign in me. But most of the time, I just let it go and
Hmm.
just distance myself. They can say like, "Oh, you just started disappearing." I'm like, "Well, you should know why."
I
And then
see.
that's when a discussion would happen if it needs to happen at that time.
Hmm. I get it. All right. And on the opposite side, so what specific traits do you value in friendships, and what does it take to be close to you?
Mm, I like honesty, openness. Um, what it takes to be close to me? I would say it's so there's always friends that are close to me, but there's nobody that's closest to me. I mean, really close to me. Like someone that knows everything about me. No. I shut that off a very long time ago, due to past relationships and friendships back in one of my younger years. So a lot of that I shut off and keep it to myself. And then there is like, of course, like the person that everybody sees. I'm very open already by myself, to most of myself, but like the part that I keep to myself is myself. But the other side of me, I always open up. I'm very open to everybody in my community, everybody in my friendships and everything like that. So I don't say I expect anything. I just expect them to be honest, not judgmental. Other than that, I would say the person that's probably closest to me would be like Susie,
Mm,
because
okay.
we actually talk every day and stuff like that. I guess you can say consistency also helps with staying close to each
Close.
other.
Yes.
Because with consistency comes with moments where you have openness and like vulnerability.
Yeah. Okay, so you have like a safeguard and like a shield just to protect yourself, which is
Yeah.
reasonable because you've experienced like stuff in the past, and it's always best to just like take care of yourself anyways, put yourself first. Okay,
Yeah.
so moving on, do you feel like how would you, I guess in a way, label or describe the different levels of friends that you have, let's say on Twitch? I talked about this in like a previous episode where there's like, for example, acquaintances, and then there's like the ones that you like game with every day, even though you're not really like super close when it comes to like talking about certain things.
Mm.
But for you, like, do you feel like there's different categories of friends that you have?
Yeah, I definitely think there's different categories. Like, of course, there's like acquaintances, like, you know, I would say like the people that you don't spend time with as much, but
Hmm.
like every once in a while you do run into each other or end up playing with each other, or even like pop into each other's Twitch streams. I would call those acquaintances. I mean, there's always a chance that you guys will become closer or more consistent with each other later in the journey. But as of right now, they're acquaintances. I never expect anything more or less from anybody, because expectations lead to upsetting, and why is it worth upsetting yourself?
Yeah.
And then there's of course the people that you play with all the time. um, a lot of people that I play with, some of them don't stream, so they're just gaming friends. And then the ones that I play with all the time that stream are usually the people that are much closer to me.
Hmm.
Um, that's because we share connections through like experiences being on Twitch, and experiences of having communities and stuff like that. So there's like another area that we can connect on. So I would say that I tend to be a lot closer to the people that I game with that stream than with the people that I just game with.
Hmm. Okay, got it. Have you had any of your own like meetups, Twitch meetups, other than EDC?
No, because nobody lives on the East Coast. Oh, well, in my area in the East Coast.
Hmm.
The only person that I know that's a Twitch streamer that lives closest to me is someone named Oversoul. Um, but he lives like still 4 hours away. And like, I mean, I'm supposed to go see Susie and like Han Cutie
Yeah.
because they're the closest to me, but I just haven't made a trip because it's in a different state.
Closest, but still quite a drive.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. We'll talk about the EDC trip and everything soon, so I'm gonna hold off on that at least. Do you believe the saying that the older you get, the fewer friends you'll keep?
Uh, it depends what you consider friends. Mm, It depends what the person keep consider as a friend. There's like acquaintances, and then there's friends, and
Hmm.
then there's like like friends that are like family. Now the friends that are like family, yes, I agree on that one. That's like this is like my other half type friend. Those become fewer as time go on.
Yeah.
But I definitely understand what they say, like when you get older there's less friends that you have less friends. It also comes out with how everybody matures. Everybody matures at a different rate, speed. Not everybody goes through the same experiences, so that's why um, you would have less friends because you don't have the same amount of people that experience the same thing that you go through.
Hmm. You've had many experiences, and I feel like you've definitely matured quick, right? So, how about for yourself? Um, how often do you find yourself trying to like maintain friendships, or like what do you do to try to stay close to people in your own way?
I like to check up on people randomly sometimes. Like like how I used to do. Make sure you eat and drink water. That's like my biggest thing. It's like
You
make sure you
do.
eat, make
Mm-hmm.
sure you drink water. So with friends that I haven't talked to in a while, sometimes I just shoot them a message, and because it never hurts. I know they say the phone goes both ways,
Yeah.
but if one person doesn't try, you never know.
No, that's real. You do that. And I do appreciate it. I guess that's definitely your way of doing it. So sending those like messages like on Discord or something, just reminding people to do like the littlest things. And I think that's cool. So I guess you could kind of compare it to like your love languages, but like in regards to friendships.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, Charles, I miss you, buddy. Thank you so much for the resub. It means a lot. I appreciate you, my guy. All love. That's Letha Boy. And thank you guys for tuning in, Angel, Hein, and everyone. Continuing things on. Out of my curiosity, right? My own curiosity. Since you're good at like reading people, or you understand the feel for the vibe and everything, right? What was your first impression of me, and how would you describe me? Like, what is my reading from your eyes? You could be honest.
I don't think we're in the right minds to even say that. We were in the right state of mind to even consider. Okay, so the thing about me is during that time I was very open anyways, so I was just like happy to see everybody. So I wasn't really reading. I was just like so happy. So I'm like, hi, hi, etc. like that.
Oh, are you talking about EDC?
Yeah.
Oh no. Just do like Twitch then.
Oh, so
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah.
Twitch.
Just
Okay, okay,
like me
okay.
as a person, not in person. Yeah, because that
Okay, okay.
everything happens so fast. No, I get it.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
get it.
okay. Okay, so meeting you as a person, I always saw you as a positive person, very motivated to a community. So a very sense the openness and like the sense of enjoying the positivity. Um, so as more as I was in the community, the more I saw like, yeah, he's always about positive vibes. So it I wasn't afraid of you or anything. I didn't avoid you or anything. I was actually, great to talk to you. You had good vibes, good vibes, good vibes.
Okay, appreciate that. So that was like the first impression and how you felt. Uh, Super nice of you.
Um,
Thank you, thank you.
what
Um,
was
how else would you describe me now that since we've known each other for a while, and then you've participated in like events that I've hosted, tourneys, game shows?
my impression of you was still pretty much the same, like very much, very positive and great person to hang out with. I mean, enjoy playing games. You're funny. I guess you could say when I first met you, I wouldn't think you're funny. You kind of look serious all the time, but like smiling serious.
That's so
So, but
crazy. Yeah. Uh-huh. Thanks for the
but
honesty.
as time gone by, I saw you more as a person and funny. I guess you say my first impression of you was the video on TikTok, but I don't even know what video it was.
All good. Yeah, for sure. Cool.
But
Okay.
Mhm.
Appreciate those thoughts. And I'm Kogi. Welcome back, broskies. Thank you so much for dropping by. I do remember. I do remember you changed your name. Thanks for checking in, everybody. All right, we're gonna talk about more so relationships, right? How much Riz do you have?
How much riz do I have? I think I got pretty good riz.
So, like, what would you rate it a 1 through 10? And we're talking about spoken Riz or unspoken Riz?
We talking about spoken riz. I have no unspoken riz. Yeah. I would probably say like 7.
Okay, there's some confidence. Got you, got you.
She got the flash wrist.
So, how do you specifically show when you're interested in someone?
Um, when I'm interested in someone. In person or like through communications first?
Just anything. Just whenever you're interested romantically.
Oh, okay. So I'm very I'm a bad texter, but like you can tell if I like you if I'm asking like a lot of questions or trying to keep conversation with you on the phone, like through
Mhm.
texting. Other than that, I go above and beyond a lot of times. So like if I say you're sick and I send you a care package, that probably means I like you.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Or like for experience, like I dated a guy for like 5 months on the phone, like through because he was based. This is why I would never date military men again. But we were dating for 5 months, FaceTime and everything like that.
Uh-huh.
So he was finally coming to my city, so we went on our date. Um, and I decided, you know what? It's my first time seeing him, so I'm gonna cook him a seafood boil, crawfish seafood boil.
Okay. Seafood boil.
Yeah, so I went out to go buy all the ingredients to make this seafood boil. 'Cause I told him like I make really good seafood boil, and he said he wanted to try it. He came down. We spent a whole weekend together. He said my food was delicious and everything like
Nice.
that. Um, we had our date, and then we went home, and then he went to go play League. And then after he went back and left, I found out he was engaged.
No shot. What the fuck?
He was engaged. He had a whole fiance that lived 17 hours away.
Whoa. Hold up. How did you find out? What?
Cause so the thing about people is when they make a fake Instagram account, they follow their main Instagram account. So I found the main Instagram account, and he had a whole engaged. And then I asked him about it. I confronted him about it, and he says, "Well, we're in an open relationship, and like, I wanted you to be like my second girlfriend." I was like, "But she gets all the benefits, so why would I want to do that?" And I was like, so I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do this no more. I'm okay. Um, and there goes the story.
No.
And he was like, we have communication issues. I was like, and he was telling me about her. I was like, she's a psychology major and a therapist, but she can't communicate with you. Make it make sense. So then after that, it's just nothing more. I never talked to him again. I still forgot to add him on League though.
Oh, that's probably important. Yeah, you should definitely do that since you play League. Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so he kind of ruined it for you when it comes to military man, is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Mhm. And hi Jade, by the way. Thank you for dropping by. Hope all is well. And man, yeah, don't settle for sight. Don't settle
Thank
for
you.
sight. That's so crazy. Um. So I was asking you about the Riz and everything. I guess a good segue is to talk about these relationships and stuff. If you want to like get into like your first relationship up until where you're at now, it's totally up to you on how like detailed you want to talk about it. Similar to the story with the military man. So would you like to start anywhere?
Uh, I mean, I guess. So this is like I guess you can say my first love or whatever. It's
Yeah.
middle school, so my transition into high school from middle school. So I like this guy, and we were classmates and class partners, and we rode the bus together. So I was always like next to him, and we bonded over like anime because I used to watch a lot of anime when I was younger.
Yeah.
And we became the teacher partners together, so we spent more time together. And I started to like him, and then he got a girlfriend, and then his girlfriend um started messaging me because me and him were at that point we're like best friends, so we had like pictures together and stuff like that, like selfies. So then I, since he got a girlfriend, I steered away from it,
Mm-hmm.
and just avoided him. Not like avoid him like entirely, but like not be like how we used to be.
Yeah, gave him
And
space.
so
Mm-hmm.
his girlfriend messaged me and asked me if I had a picture of him for like a school project. I was like, this is weird. So I sent her a picture, and then she went around and told the whole school that I have pictures of her boyfriend in my phone and I'm a weirdo. So
Oh my god.
the thing is, she's Asian, I'm Asian, we're the same Asian in the same school. So then the word was spreading towards the Asian community. And so after my transition from middle school to high school, I became this like bad person. And so I lost my connection with the Asian community
Reputation,
and
yeah.
people, yeah, my reputation in the Asian community was dirt. So like I lost a lot of friends in the Asian community, people that I thought was close. And to me, I just considered it as like you go on life losing people and gaining people. The people you lose were not meant to be there. You learn what you learn from them, and it's time for them to go. That's how you grow as a person.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought of it like that, so it didn't really affect me. Um, and then now that my family, we have nieces and nephews that are like around the same age as me, that are really connected to the Asian community. Like everybody knows them because they think my family's rich, but we struggling like them too. Um, and so now I slowly repaired my reputation through like the main peoples, but like still like the same girl that did that still doesn't like me.
Jeez.
But they know her as like the mean girls of the Asian community anyways, so I'm not really with it. Actually, I met someone on Twitch recently, that was from the same area that knows everything, and she
Mm-hmm.
didn't know that we live so close to each other, but her name's Kaylin. Kaylin. Hmm. I met her through Papa Bear, and we had bonded over knowing that we're from the same city, but then we never knew that we were from like the same community also.
Wow,
So it was
small
very
world.
interesting to meet anybody. And after that, also me becoming a gamer and a streamer even made more people think I'm more weird. Because a lot of the girls over here are like, I want to date a drug dealer and um, get my nails done all the time. So I'm not like a
Okay.
pretty girl like that because I can't game with nails. I like suck at them.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yep, that was the story of my first love. Would I do it again? No. Even though
Yeah.
I forced myself to think in a certain way so I wouldn't get hurt.
Okay, so that was the first one. So what was the next?
Oh, after that, it's just nothing got past the talking stage at that point. Either guys would just talk to me because they wanted something from me, or they just wanted friends with benefits. Other than
Mm,
that, nothing else. Yeah, literally nothing else. There has been guys that try to get in relationships with me, but then I don't. I'm a chaser, so if you're like really like overwhelming me, I tend to like crawl away. But
yeah.
like if you let me chase a little bit, then yes, I will stay because I like the chase. But a lot of the times, the guys that are trying to talk to me, they're like very overbearing
Mm-hmm.
and they scare me a little bit. Because also, I guess it has to do with my childhood of not being used to like overwhelming love, like a hug and everything like that and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I'm used to giving it to people because that's how I want people to feel, is like feel loved.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I'm not used to getting it back. So like it scares me. So I go into hiding when someone like overbearingly is like obsessed with me. But people that are obsessed with me scared me also because they can be they're like messaging me like 5 times in 1 second, and I get scared because I'm like, what if they find my IP address?
Jeez. So do you have any like stories in particular where like someone's trying to hit on you or trying to get at you and then just like what your response was?
Oh, okay. Me and my friend group makes fun of me all the time with this, actually.
Because of the incident.
So, yeah, so there was they call it a tribute video to Mika. So there was a DM I got in my Instagram. Um, and it was me live and a guy right next to it, fully naked and doing stuff I should this nasty on while watching me. I was just like, oh my god. I'm like, I hear my voice and everything in the video. I'm like, how what is going on in this video? So now my friends just call it Amika's tribute video. And I'm like, you guys are so nasty because I never want to open my DMs because of it.
Damn, tell a story. What a tribute video.
Other than that, it would be
Uh-huh.
guys in Discords that like constantly try to call me, so I block them.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah. There was this one that like called me like multiple times, and it would be like, this is why I say like guys just like either want something from me or want sexual something from me because then I answered the call and they're like fully naked. I'm like, oh
Oh
no,
my
never mind.
god. The shit that you've
Yeah.
experienced. Jeez. Um. Oh, by the way, Suhyori, thank you for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. I appreciate y'all. We got episode 6 of the Chat with Wilson podcast featuring Mika, our special guest here. Mika's been talking about lots of stories, and we're on the topics of like relationships as of now. So I really appreciate all of you guys for tuning in, for dropping by. Lonely, Edgar, Chris, Miso, hello friends. I'm Cutie, thank you for the shoutouts, by the way.
This bullshit shit.
So whenever that happens, right? I guess there's a lot of people that just want certain things, like you said. Has there been a time where like you felt like you could have gotten into a relationship recently, or like maybe instead of that question, what are you looking for?
I'm not really looking for anything. I am very go with the flow at this point. Because of all my experiences, I don't expect anything because I don't want to be hurt. I'm like very protective of my inner self to not be hurt again. So
Yeah.
I very have like a very thick shell. So, like even if I was like talking to someone, like a guy, it's really hard for me to open up to them. And I know it's like something I have to find in myself to open up, but then it's what I've been through, so it's like something that I automatically do without. And like the times that I've actually let down my shields, I end up getting hurt also. So I did do it in couple times, like twice within the last couple of years where I've let my shield down and opened up to a person or to a guy just to be hurt by them. So then my shields go right back up.
Mm-hmm.
So there was time where I was going to be in a relationship with someone. I was actually going to move to San Jose, and work there and be in a relationship with them.
Whoa.
But um I didn't. Luckily I was just gonna move there first for the job opportunity, and then if we got in a relationship I would do it. But I decided to give it some more time, and then stuff went downhill over there. So I'm glad I didn't do it, so I can say I dodged a bullet. Um, but imagine me in San Jose. That'd be crazy.
No, that would have been. You would have went across the country for like possibly for work and some dude.
Yeah.
Are you able to say what went down? Like I'm curious of how like it went downhill because you also talked about like the military guy, but like did he do something?
Okay, so he was playing with me like a lot. So like he was like, "Oh, I'm going on a Tinder date, and I have a friend with benefits." So I was like, "Okay, I don't care. I just want to go there because it's on the West Coast. I know people on the West Coast. I always wanted to live there. There's a job opportunity for me there. Um, they are going to have they have a housing for me, so I can just rent with them
Mm-hmm.
an apartment. Um, not with the guy specifically, but with the other people in the friend group because they all work together. um, they there was another guy in our friend group that lived in Florida, and he actually got shipped. He actually flew out there to go work and live with
Yeah.
them. So I was like, he's gonna be the test bunny. I'm gonna see how it goes. Um, Everything went downhill after that because the guy turned out to be very abusive to women. In
Jeez.
his and he like threw out the girl's stuff out the window, spitted on her and beat her up and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, that's that's weird. And then the other people in the friend group were like very racist and very homophobic and stuff like that. And I'm not cool with that, you know. And they end up with the guy in Florida. He was gay. So when he got over there, it was just like a whole bunch of drama and
Hmm.
they were fighting and then they all moved separate ways. So now I was like, yeah, I'm glad I did not choose to go to that opportunity because I could have been left with absolutely nothing.
You dodged lots of bullets.
Hmm.
Jeez. That is actually not what I expected.
It's a lot of plot twists in my life.
Yeah, 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 to say the least, which is understandable why it's like you build character off of these experiences, and that's why you have your guard up. So I get that.
Mhm.
Um okay, so you mentioned that you're going with the flow, right? Do you
Mhm.
at least have like a type, whether it's personality or appearances?
Mm, yeah, I have a type, Jungkook. Shout out to Maple. Kidding.
Wait, what do you
Um,
mean shout outs to Maple? What does that mean?
I said, I like Jungkook from BTS, and I said shout out to Maple because that's her favorite. That's my type.
Okay.
Is Jungkook only Jungkook?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just kidding. I do have a type, I guess you can say. The funny thing is, when I was younger, my parents was very traditional and said you have to date an Asian guy. So I didn't like Asian guys when I was younger. I actually liked like Hispanic guys and white guys. But then my parents divorced and I made my mom more open minded. I grow to like Asian guys more than I like other. And I think it's not anything like I can date. I've dated the other. I've like been with and stuff like that with other races. I think the main thing is I like being in my culture, and so like having someone to connect with the culture that I am with is something that means a lot to me. Considering that culture and family is very important to me when it comes to my day to day life.
Mhm.
And like, yes, there are other there are other people in the other races that are willing to try out the culture, but that's only a small amount compared to the majority. That's why I just say like I tend to like more Asian people, but I'm not against dating anybody else. It's just that my comfortability with my culture comes from that.
Mhm. Okay. And for you moving forward, right? What are like specific red flags that you would be looking for or maybe even deal breakers when it comes to relationships?
Mm, the same thing was with friendships because they're both relationships at the point.
True.
Um, like people that are very controlling. I don't like someone as submissive I am in a sexual sense. I hate being controlled. Like you cannot tell me what to do. Um, Not in like a sense where like I'm a brat or like anything like that. Like I'm gonna do crazy stuff. It's just like I don't like people telling me what to do because that's the way they think it's better. Um, I like to experience the way I experience it because I learn from it. Um, so when someone forces their like stuff on me, I'm like, I don't really. And then the same thing with like mentally manipulating someone. I don't like that either. I would say like mentally manipulative is a lot more hurtful than like physically manipulating someone. I mean, they're both like very damaging, but like sometimes you can get mental fucked by someone so hard, like
Mm-hmm.
to a point where like you don't know what to do. And I've seen that a lot in my having so many siblings and so many personalities in my family. Everybody goes through the world different ways, and with me being close to my family and talking to them, I'm able to experience what they experience through their eyes by the way they tell me it. Um, and that just comes in from different mentality. Like we be the same blood, but we all have different ways of thinking.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you for sharing that. You mentioned like your mental, right, and everything. I think that's like a good segue to go from here. As of now, so not even just relationships, but just in general, like what do you feel like is your biggest personal struggles that you're dealing with right now, and how exactly are you dealing with it?
Mm. Well, I be stressed out, but that's because I'm a homeowner.
Yeah, you talked about the renovations for sure. That's something.
um, I would say like wanting to grow because I have like ideas of what I want to do, but it's just the steps to do it. I guess you can say m- I wouldn't say like motivation, but then at the same time I would say motivation to get what's needed to be done to
Hmm.
get where I want to be. Like of course like earlier in my life, I was very motivated because I felt like I had no option. And so at this point I'm more at like a standstill of comfortability, and there's like not a lot that I need to get done. But there's stuff that I want to get done. Um, so there's a difference between want and need.
Yeah. Okay. With that being said, then what are your current in like, what are your current goals, like short term and long term?
Um, I definitely still want to consider moving to the east of the west coast.
Hmm.
um, or even short-term goals. It's just like having, trips there, vacationing, um, seeing how it is over there, how I would be if I actually lived there. Like a constant thing that goes through me and my siblings that were the youngest during that time that would be moving to California, which would be three of us. We always like, what happened if we actually move? How would we act? What would we be like? So it's um, something I always wanted to do is like visit California. Like the closest I've done that is Las Vegas. Um,
Hmm.
and I'm still young, so like of course I'm not gonna be able to like go out next weekend to go to California or something like that. But it's definitely on my mind to get over there. I still have my EDC ticket, but I'm not sure I'm still going to that. I might just save that to go like TwitchCon or something.
Oh, TwitchCon.
Considering that
Hmm.
I'm going to Ultra next month. Mm.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, a lot of money. My biggest short-term goal would be renovating this house and future possibilities to buying another house, so that I can have passive income
Yeah.
as a property owner.
Sick. Okay. Wishing you the best of luck, and especially if you do consider moving to Cali. Which part are you trying to move to, or would you move to?
Um, so like in my childhood, we're supposed to move to Redwood.
Hmm.
That's like northern California. Um, but I was considering like Pasadena
Redwood City,
or
Pasadena. Okay.
mm, I think like Orange County was the other option I was looking at, but it was more in the Pasadena area.
Yeah. Okay. So options in the north and the south. Gotcha. All right. Follow up question. I know you're still young, but what lessons, like life lessons, would you give to your younger self? Like, would you do anything differently?
Mm. I would tell myself Try a little harder.
In
Yeah, I would tell
what
myself to try
regard?
a little harder. Um, I would say like after the financial aid situation where I didn't get to go to college, there
Yeah.
was definitely a time where I shut down and I was like, "Oh, what am I gonna do?" And I
Hmm.
thought like all my options was that. But if I took like an extra step, I could have just done student debt
I see. Okay.
and
But
still like completed going to school and stuff like that. Because considerably, I wouldn't be in much debt as for normal people that would go into a 4-year university due to the fact that I did college classes. I did all my educational like regular classes in high school. My
yeah.
last 2 years, I completed 2 years worth of general education.
So have you considered going back to or just going to college in the future?
I do consider it. I want to become more of a stable in my finances before I go into it.
Okay. And with the current job that you have now, is that like something you see yourself doing in the long run, future career too?
Not at this job, no. Um, I actually am considering, like, they said they want to promote me at my job. Don't know when it's gonna happen. To a supervisor instead, which would make like double the money that I make now. But they're a little bit not very solid on their words. Or I
Ooh.
guess you can say
Okay.
they're a little bit not trustworthy, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
So I don't really believe them. So I'm definitely taking a look into other options, but I definitely want to take my vacation first before I even consider anything new.
That's reasonable. Yeah, you just gotta look out for yourself. Don't want to like overcommit.
Hmm.
Okay. Let's transition and talk about good old good old EDM and the rave scene since I know you do that too. So first of all, let's talk about Ultra since you mentioned it already. Have you been to Ultra before and what prompted you to want to go to this year's Ultra?
I've never been to Ultra ever actually, but we just did a EDC trip in Florida, because there is a EDC, a smaller version of it, in Orlando. And the weird thing is, I rave with my family because my families are ravers.
Mhm.
um, and so we had got back from back from EDC, and we love like Knock 2. So Knock 2 is like the first Laos DJ that we know, so like we like love him so much, and he makes really good music, in my opinion. Um, and we saw him. We like already was considering the lineup for Ultra because of Calvin Harris and David Guetta, but then it solidified when we saw RL Grime and Knock 2 back to
The
back.
back to back.
Yeah,
Sick.
so we were like, holy. And the thing is, um, Arlo Grime is the first person that we actually listened to when we were entering the EDM scene when we were
Speaking of
younger.
that, speaking of that, how did you exactly get into EDM and raving? Like even with the family too. What's the story behind it all?
Uh, I guess I can give the clean side.
Sure.
Um, so like we started getting into it because my niece, her brother-in-law, um, he travels a lot, he goes to raves a lot, and he likes it. So he introduced it to his brother, and then his brother introduced it to my niece, which they're boyfriend and girlfriend. And then it slowly just traveled on to the rest of us. So we decided, since we have the supply, let's try it out all together in the living room. And so
Okay.
we were all sitting there just rolling, and this is like when I like rolled almost every weekend, and I don't want to do that again. And it's also the way that I became addicted to vaping. but I stopped vaping now. But it was it was interesting to see how our personality switches when we were listening to EDM, not on anything else.
Yeah, what
um
year was this?
oh, this was probably like 2020. Okay, so I went to my first rave in 2022. So it was like 2022, yeah.
Okay, 22. Got it.
So it's been 2 years of raving. Because I after my first EDC, I went to EDC Las Vegas, which that's 2023, and then EDC again, and then I'm going to Ultra this year.
Hmm.
Yeah, so about 2 years. Um, and then my family, since there's a lot of us, so like every time we have a get together, it's always a party because there's so much of us.
That actually
Um,
rave too.
yeah, because like so the thing is, when I talk about my nieces and nephew, the
Uh
one that
huh.
we rave with,
Yeah.
they're older than me. They're like 25, and it's because my family is like 7 people, and we all range from youngest to oldest. I'm the
Yeah.
youngest, so there's nieces and nephews that are older than me. So they, so that's how that goes.
What's the age gap between you and your siblings?
So my oldest sister is 40, 40, 42. Yeah, she's 42, and then it goes down like 2 years, and then another 2 years, and another 2 years, and then it's like usually a 2 or 3 year difference, and then the nieces and nephews get introduced into the picture. So then it's like exactly 2 years between them and like the last three siblings that were born. So like it's my oldest brother, and in 2 years is the oldest nephew. 2 years after that is my sister, and in 2 years is the second oldest niece. Then 2 years after that it would be my nephew, and then 2 years after that is me. Well, actually, yeah, 2 years after that is me.
Whoa. That's so crazy. So your older,
So
like your older nieces and nephews are like calling you auntie and stuff too.
yeah. Sometimes when we were younger, we called each other cousins because we were just so close to each other. So
Yeah.
like it was weird to call each other like aunt and nephew and niece.
Yeah.
And like those last three ones that I said, that it ranged like 2 years apart,
Mm.
those would be like each other's duo. So like my oldest brother and the oldest nephew, that's their duo. They always hang out with each other, did everything with each other. The two niece and my sister, they're a duo. And then the youngest nephew and me, or the last nephew after that one, and then me, we were a duo. But we were like all of us were bad as hell in like our own different ways.
Hmm. Okay, so yeah, back to the introduction. You guys mentioned that you guys all tried it out together at the house. So you guys were house rolling, checking out different personalities and stuff, right? What led that to like going to your first rave event, and what was the first rave event? Was it EDC or something before that?
Uh, it was Sickett actually. He was a TikTok EDM artist, and it was at like a bar or like a club, and we had tickets, and we experienced it all together. We had VIP tables, but I wasn't old enough to get in VIP tables yet because we were only like 20. I was like 20,
Yeah.
yeah, and I wasn't 21, so I can't get in VIP. I mean, either though they sneak us everything anyways, so we were like right in the back. Sicket was not that good. Would not recommend, but
Okay.
that's how we introduced into EDM as in like publicly,
Hmm.
besides just doing it at the house. And then shortly after that is when we went to EDC Orlando. The thing is, my brother and his girlfriend would actually go to EDC Orlando already, but it was just like something they did by themselves as a couple and their friends. And then we came into the picture that year to go EDC Orlando with them. And that was the first rave, first music festival that I went to was EDC Orlando.
How was that experience? How would you describe like what went down in Orlando and like what's the good and bad of it?
Orlando's like very small compared to what's in Las Vegas, so um, I thought that was a lot already, considering like distance of like walking everything like that.
Mm.
So I was like, oh, um, I mean, it wasn't too bad, but it was just very interesting to see like a whole different vibe. Like I would never expect to see like such. It was actually really pretty. When I first saw it, I was very amazed, astounded by everything. Um, I was very prepared, like with everything, so I never had a really bad experience with like getting stuff stolen or anything like that.
Yeah.
Um, I at raves I'm very active, so like you would think like, oh, this girl not gonna last an hour. I last the whole night
Like
and day.
dancing and just moving and
Yeah,
stuff. That's what you mean? Okay.
yeah. So my family was surprised to see that it was a great environment that we created. I don't like raving with them anymore. When I go to raves, I side quest
What
because they are
the-
very lame. Before then, I would be the only one dancing. I'm literally the only one dancing.
Oh, that's why you
Everybody
think
just
they're lame.
stands. Yeah, everybody just stands there and sways. They're like the. Have you seen like the Viet TikToks where like they're at a rave, and everybody's just sitting there and not dancing? No one's dancing at the raves. They're just looking at the screen with sunglasses on.
I get it. There's people like that. I totally understand like both perspectives. You just like
But like,
the energy.
imagine that, but like my entire row of family, that's like 20
Yeah.
people, just exactly like the same way, and I'm the only one dancing. Like, I have, I'm like, I'm spending $300 here. I'm going to dance, like it's $300 worth.
There's different type of ravers and experiences that people like, so okay, for sure. So you side quest.
Yes,
But you still go to events with them. You just do your own thing while you're there, right? Is that what it sounds like?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Have you built like your own rave group or anything or
No,
oh, okay, okay. Maybe in due time.
no. I just meet people because there's not
Yeah.
a lot of raving that happens over here, anyways.
Oh, I see.
If we have breakaway, um,
Ooh, sick.
I'm probably gonna go breakaway this year, but it happens actually in my city. Um, Excision is the one that's actually headlining,
Yo,
but
Excision's fire.
might consider going to that one. I haven't been to that one yet, considering it's in my city.
Mm.
Because last time I was supposed to go to it was last year, but then I had the trip for Las Vegas, so I was like, I just go to the Las Vegas one.
So, which artist is your favorite, and what's your favorite genre?
uh,
Like you said
I
not
like
two, but like
Noctu.
okay, not two.
I also like Arm& and Hammer.
Okay.
I don't know what genre it is specifically. I'm still a baby, but I like I really like when they mix in like hip hop and like R&B and like K-pop into the mixes. Like
Those
William
are fun.
Black, I like how he mixes in like animes and stuff like that. Dabin.
Yeah.
Um yeah, I would say I like when they mix in like I think like my first EDC, um I really liked the artist that was playing at Circuit Ground. I forgot who it was. I think it might have been Zomboy, but I'm not sure. Or
hmm
was Zomboy right before it? I don't know. I was by myself. But they were playing like they like threw in Snoop Dogg or Nicki Minaj
Yeah.
or Rihanna, and I just love it when they mix in like other stuff. So like that's another thing why I like excited about Ultra, considering that there's David Guetta and um, Calvin Harris, because they have like a lot of songs with other artists like Ellie Goulding, Rihanna,
Yeah,
and
mainstream ones too. Yeah.
yeah,
Pop.
and like that's why I like Zed also is because Ariana Grande.
hmm So your experience at EDC Las Vegas, what was that like? Being able to meet everyone, like what was your thought process, like expectations, and then when you were actually there, like how did everything transpire?
I was very nervous at first. I was like, what if they just think I'm like not the same person? But I also told them like, if you ever meet me in real life, I'm very shy at first.
Okay.
Because the main thing is like I'm shy because I'm observing the room and I don't know how to react to you yet. Until I read the room is when I can react to you. So like at first I'm just like very shy. And then
Mm-hmm.
when they have first met me, they're like, "There's no way you're fucking shy." I'm like,
Uh-huh.
so they're very shocked the way that I acted in real life at first, but then when like warmed up to them, they started to see like my personality show again, from being that introvert shy person to being like the person I am on like Discord and stuff like that. So it was very interesting to see. I actually have a picture Jason had took. Um, I should post it. Be like when the Discord groups make it out in real life.
Oh yeah. That trend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was actually a very amazing experience. I still say to this day that that's one of the best experience in my life so far.
Yeah, so talk a little bit more about that. I heard that you were lost or something, right?
Oh yeah, on the first night of EDC, I was completely lost.
Like you went
Um
with your family.
yes. I went with my family, but my brother and his girlfriend was arguing, so I dipped.
Oh, like at the
Yeah.
event. Okay.
Like I dipped to go into the crowd to go find Mingo. I went to go find everybody, but you know how the signal is in
Yeah,
EDC.
it's rough.
Um, I mean, I knew when the security guard was actually nice to me. She said to follow her on Instagram and stuff like that, and she would share me the passwords to the internet and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and meet her up in places. Um, but the person that made their like number one goal to find me was Mingo or unavailable
Mm-hmm. Shout outs to
Mingo.
Mango.
Yeah.
So she
So
found you.
Mingo, yeah, she found me. I told her I was at the where the rainbow is, where the furries are like taking pictures and stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
told her I was at the rainbow, and she found me, and I was like, I was literally about to cry. I was like, I can't find nobody,
How long did
and
it
so
take? That must have been hella stressful.
we were like, because Galantis was the ending of it, the ending show, and was closing for Kinetic Field. So she met me up right before then. So like probably an hour before the ending, the closing.
Oh, that's when you split off from your siblings
Yeah, and
and
then
your group.
my sister-in-law, she actually asked me where I was, and then she came to me by herself because she was like, "I ain't dealing with your brother," and then me and her and Mingo was just raving
Just
together,
straight vibing. Yeah.
and yeah, and so there was actually a guy like following Mingo, so like I was like sitting there protecting her.
Oh, okay. EDC stories.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so me and her just raved to Galantis, and it was the greatest, like one of the best moments I had. I would say like Mingo was like one of the few people that actually made like a super effort to meet up with me and hang out with me before parted ways. Even on the last day, on Monday, yeah,
Yeah.
on Monday, um, she even came early in the morning to where I was because I was at
Aw.
was it the one with the one that looks like a toothpick, the skyline?
Wait,
I
what
don't
are you
know.
talking about? The stage?
No, the hotel.
I don't think I would know the specific
Well, the one that
hotels.
looks like it looked like a toothpick. That's
But
what I
in the
always say it
strip, you
looks like.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was there because I was there with Maple and Solo,
Yes.
um, and Jason, and she had made her way all the way there early in the morning to come hang out with me, and we spent the day together. We went all the way up to the top of the building. We went to go take pictures, like you know, like the pictures of the family, and it's like the green screen backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
So me and her have like a whole bunch of pictures with each other, like that, and it was I paid for the copies, and we actually had a friend with us that was from Australia, and he
Oh,
said
sick.
this is like he was like this is like the best moment I've had, and we took pic. I got him I paid for the physical copies, and they also sent a digital copies with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, "You're the one that's furthest away from us. We'll give you the paper, like the physical copies, and we can just take the digital copies and print it out ourselves." So she made my trip like very memorable.
Memorable. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, that's awesome. Mango is a real one for sure. Like when I first met her and stuff, she like went above and beyond too. So that's awesome. And continuing like EDC experience and stuff. What was your favorite set, and how was it when you actually met up with the entire group and started like raving with them?
Well, the entire group was when I was with you guys.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. I remember that.
um, I think my favorite set. What set was I at? It was so crowded. Lord Jesus.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
I wanted to enjoy. I enjoyed Arm& Hammer and Cosmic Grounds, but I
Oh,
wanted to enjoy Zed, but I didn't get to enjoy Zed because I was trying to go find you guys, and I got pushed to the ground. So
some
I literally left the crowd. I was like, I'm not doing this no more.
what the fuck? Someone just pushed you to the ground?
Yes.
Oh
So I
hell
went to
no.
go sit. I went to go into Daisy Lane,
Yeah.
and um, I bumped into an Asian guy, and he was going past me, and I looked at his face, and I was like, he looks familiar.
Huh.
Where did I know this from? And then I didn't know who I ran into until after I got home. I ran into Preston.
Oh shit.
He literally
Wow.
walked past me, and
Yeah.
we looked at each other. And we're like, I was like, he looks familiar.
Wow.
He looks like every other Asian guy out here. Just kidding.
That's crazy. Okay. Love Preston.
But
Uh-huh.
yeah. So I had saw him, and I didn't know that I saw him. It was
Yeah.
actually crazy. Um, and then the only way that I finally got to hang out with you guys is I literally just decided I'm gonna go on my last day. I'm just gonna go with Solo and them, and Amber,
Good
so
choice. Yeah.
that I'm just with you guys already. So then we met up with Amber and we found everybody, and it was my first time with everybody all together at the rave, and it was great. It was wonderful. I felt so loved. I was literally someone's wife was kissing on me all night. We
What
were
the
just hugging and
fuck?
kissing.
Okay.
Like all the girls were just kissing and hugging each other all night. I have a video. I'm like recording slander, and then all of a sudden like the guy's wife is like behind me hugging me, and then I'm like looking behind and she just kissed me on the lips. I'm like, "Oh." But I'm just like, "Okay, whatever." I mean, I know the guy's wife.
Uh-huh.
So like I knew who it
That's so
was, but I'm
funny.
just like it surprised me because it was just like at that point, literally the whole night we were basically making out at that point. Just like every girl was just making out.
Wow, I can't say that's what slander does to you, but yeah, you guys had a great experience. Okay.
The only thing I would change about that night is my outfit. Oh my god, the outfit pissed me off.
Like it wasn't
I was
comfortable?
wearing Yeah, it was like a dress. And so like people were spilling stuff on it, people were stepping on it, but it wasn't
Oh,
like super long. It was like up to my like ankle, but like it was still like long enough for people to
people
like
to yeah, step on it.
yeah. So, but I was like, but I like wearing like skirts or dresses because it makes it easier for me to sit
Hmm.
without hurting my, not hurting my butt, but like rocks or like stuff poking my butt. It provides a barrier between the ground and my butt.
Cushion, yeah. All right. So, what as of now like I know you've gone to EDC Orlando twice and you have Ultra. What's the probability of you going to Vegas again since you have the ticket?
Probably very low.
Okay,
I hon-
realistically.
I honestly want to go to TwitchCon more than going to EDC this year. I feel like TwitchCon would give me more of um a different experience.
Oh, for
Cause
sure.
like EDC, like it's all fun and stuff, but like you're still you're like in a different environment where like it's very overstimulating. So like you don't
Facts.
really get that like one on one or like
Time to
getting to
talk.
know people.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, the music's on.
It's
Let's
like
go. Boom, boom,
partying.
boom,
It's just
boom.
partying with
Yeah.
people, not really like talking and getting to know them. Yeah. Very true.
Yeah. So like I want to actually experience like getting to know people, having time to spend with them. So that's what I would rather go to TwitchCon than go
Hmm.
to EDC. Like, I would go to EDC again, of course, but like for me, I would rather, if I have the choice, would just go to EDC. I mean TwitchCon.
TwitchCon. Yeah. Well, might see you at TwitchCon. Still haven't decided, but it is a possibility.
It's in San Diego this year.
Yes, indeed, indeed. Okay, so finishing up like raving stuff, right? So since you've been doing it for a while, what would you say you've learned over time? And like what advice could you give to those who haven't raved yet or are like first timers?
Um, I would say it depends on who you're with. Like, make sure you choose your crowds
Like
or
your
the people
group?
that you go with.
Yeah.
Yeah, your group. Very, very specific to your group. Because one person can ruin your entire vibe, especially in a time where raving. If you are doing extra stuff with your raves, um, the littlest thing can destroy the entire night for you. You just don't have control of it because you're not in the standard state of mind. Um, Other than that, you also want to make sure that you have people that you can depend on for anything that goes wrong or anything that happens. Um,
True. Mm-hmm.
that's all I always recommend. Other than that, common sense. Make sure you're not doing anything that you wouldn't do if you were sober or in any other event or like any other situation. Like, don't go running off with a stranger if you barely talk to them for 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a good one. Good one. That could be very dangerous.
um, Honestly, always and be prepared. If you're gonna go up to the front, be prepared to be at the rails and hold your stuff tightly. Because when you're up at the rails is when you get your stuff stolen.
Oh, definitely can. Mm-hmm.
That's like where it most likely happens is when you're up in the front.
Valid. Okay. Some good advice right there. And let's see. How long do you think you'll be raving for moving forward?
I'm already tired of it.
Nah,
Just kidding.
you're not kidding. I know you get tired of it, but still, like, if you were to give like an estimate, like a timetable.
I'm probably stop raving at 30, but
Interesting. Okay. Damn, you
I
got
still
like a
have
whole ass decade.
yeah, exactly. I still got William Black to go to, Arm& Hammer in April to go to.
Oh, speaking of specific artists, what is one artist that you really want to see that you haven't seen yet? Aside from like Cal.
Dabin.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was gonna say aside from like Calvin Harrison, like uh David Guetta, but Davin, okay.
Yeah, I've never seen Dabin. The thing is, last year Dabin he played in Georgia, and he played for the New Year's, and I really wanted to see him, but I was stuck doing something. I think I was babysitting, and so I couldn't go. And then turns out it was Dabin. I found out later on that it was actually Dabin that played, and he had a great show.
Oh.
And I was so upset because I wanted to see Dabin so bad. He's like the only artist that I haven't seen that I really wanted to see.
All right, if you do end up going to an event in Georgia, and if it's Davin, whatever, please be sure to drag Hansuki with you. Yeah.
See, like the next time I go, I told Hansuki I'll go pick him up and we go eat Korean barbecue, but I haven't gone yet. So
Okay, add a event to that, a festival or rave. Let's go. W friend.
He wants to go to a rave?
I don't think he really wants to, but you should still drag him anyways for that experience.
Mm-mm. I know he'll
Hey,
go to a
Bruce.
K-pop.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he would. Okay, and lastly, so from your experience or what you know, based on your knowledge, right? What is a rave bait and how do you get one?
This is so funny. It's so funny because every time I've had a rave bay, um, it always initiates from freaking Riot Games. Why does everything initiate with Riot Games?
Wait, hold up. You're telling me you find rave bays because of Riot?
Yes, because of Riot Games. I get clocked so hard out there. They're like, "You look like you game. Do you play Valorant or League of Legends?" I'm like, "What is up with this?"
Oh, that's what you mean. Okay. Wait, please do tell, do tell.
Okay, so for example, at EDC Las Vegas on the
Uh-huh.
second night,
Okay.
I stayed until closing also, but I was side questing. I was by myself. I was raving, and the
Uh-huh.
Asian guy next to me, we were just we were just looking at each other, but we weren't doing. We were just dancing, and then I think he offered me like a souvenir. I think it was like a duck. And I was like, "Oh, thank you."
Ah, the ducks.
Yeah, and so that initiated everything. So we were just dancing and stuff like that, and then he asked me my name, and I was like, "Oh, my name's Mika," and he was like, "Oh, cool." And I don't remember his name. It was very loud, and we actually exchanged
Uh-huh.
Instagrams. Um,
Okay.
and so we were still dancing there, and then he asked me like, "Oh, what do you do?" or "What are you doing?" or like, "What are you up to?" Like during that time, I was just a streamer. I wasn't working, so I was like, "Oh, I'm a streamer."
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Oh, what do you stream? Are you like just chatting?" "Oh, I play Valorant." And then he was like, "Oh, what rank are you?" And I'm like, "I'm plat 2." He's like, "Oh, I'm plat 1." And then we have 5. We're like, "Oh, we're plat." And then we just continued dancing, just talking, and then we were exchanging. And then we actually made out that night when the closing happened and the fireworks went up.
Wow. Got that EDC rave bay experience. And it started because of Riot and
Because
streaming.
of Valorant.
Uh-huh.
My other rave bay I had was at Knock 2 when Knock 2 had came to my city.
Yeah.
Um, I understand why this happens because I was dressed up as Killjoy.
Okay.
Okay,
So you
so
set yourself up with that one.
I set myself up with this one. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but this helped me a lot.
Okay.
This outfit was key to the night that I experienced. So I walk in there, it's very tight, not a lot of room for stuff. I put on my Killjoy hat, so my family likes to be in VIP. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
like VIP because VIP is above, but like you don't get the experience to be like up front where music is booming and everything like that. You're like up there being bougie.
Yeah, yeah.
And I could have been up there too, but I didn't want to go up there. Um, so I was down here, and there was this guy that was wearing all black, and he almost looks like a security guard.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he was standing next to me and just looking at me, and I was like, just dancing, because it wasn't knock 2 yet. And then slowly, I went to go get a drink. I came back. He was like, "Follow me." And then so he acted like my bodyguard. It was like getting me through the crowds to get me all the way to the front in front of knock 2. It was it was actually so great because
Damn.
I was like, wow, I feel so special right now.
Getting
And like
escorted. Uh-huh.
I had my personal escort, but that wasn't my rape bait though. Um,
Oh.
he was just helping me to get to the front, and then at the end of the night, he was like, "I like your Killjoy outfit." I was like, "Oh, thank you, you do." And so I was the night where I was with my rape bait, with the rape bait, I actually was in the front, just headbanging everything like that, and him and all the Asian people that was with him, um, they were just headbanging and stuff like that next to me, and all of a sudden they started headbanging with me, and then stuff goes down, and then he's looking at me, and I have my hat on, and this is like when the CO2, you know how when they spray the CO2, so the CO2 is like spraying on me, and my hat falls off, and he grabs it, and he was like, "You play Valorant, don't you?" I was like, "What do you mean?" "No, I don't." He's like, "This is Killjoy." I was like, "Oh, do you play?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm Diamond." I'm like, "Oh, cool. I'm only Plat." And so we were just dancing and headbanging and stuff like that. And then he told me to give him my Instagram. So, and he was like, "Are you a streamer?" I was like, "I am a streamer." And then he was like, "Oh, what's your Twitch?" and stuff like that. And we just danced the night. This one I didn't end up kissing. We just like held hands and just like headbanged together and like just hold hands throughout the night. But like Naruto is not really like slander where it slows down or anything like that. So it's just like
Yeah,
vibing
jumpy
together.
vibes. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess you can call it my rave bay at the end of the night where he's like, "Oh, what's your number?" and stuff like that. And then we talked for a little bit, but like I said, that goes to nowhere. Talking stages that don't work.
Yeah.
Turns out he was a TFT player. He didn't play Valorant that often. He only
Okay.
played TFT.
At least you still
Literally
knew the
ever.
outfit and stuff.
I was like, I don't play TFT like that.
Yeah. No knockoffs or knocks to TFT players. Just good
It
to
wasn't
know.
my game during the time.
Okay,
Uh,
so that was another one.
mhm. Let's see. I think in my last recent EDC, I didn't have a raid bay. I was more worried because it was my oldest sister first time and my other sister's first time, so I wanted them to experience it.
Yeah, have the best
Um,
experience.
yeah, because I told them like going with their kids, like it's kind of weird because it's my sister and her kids.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you're not gonna experience everything because they like the specific DJs at specific times at specific sets.
hmm
You're not gonna actually get to explore. And I told them that, but they didn't listen to me. So I went to go side quests. I went to go meet up with people that I know, that I knew that went. I actually found out that there was a girl that was in my high school and stuff like that, and I know her. And we were supposed to. Well, we know each other very well, but we didn't know that we loved Arm& and Hammer and that we loved raving. So when I found out that she went the year before that, we were like, "Oh, are you going this year?" And we're like, "Yes." And so we decided to meet up. So my side questing was to
Nice.
go rave with her. And so we were headbanging and everything like that and all that stuff. And I like raving with them because they actually like to go, they get closer to the speakers and stuff like that.
hmm
And then my family likes to stay in the back, like in the very back, because they like their room. They like to
Yeah,
have
room
rooms.
chilling. Yeah.
But I'm like, I want to go feel the music thump through my body. So I go in the front. And it's so funny with EDC Orlando. It's like a mixture of people in the front. And then you get this whole line of spread out Asian people because the guys create like a border line for the girls. And the girls are just in the middle, like dancing.
Yeah.
And this is like in the middle where the speakers are. And then after that, it's just like all the people that has like stuff to dance with, like throwing like, the sticks and stuff like that, and then like the people that are chilling and sitting on the floor or in the back. But like it's just so funny. It's just like I'm like, they're like, we never see Asian people here. I'm like, because you don't leave your spot. All the Asian people are in the middle. And so when I was with the girl that I know, we went. I was like, she was like, how do you see all the Asian people? I was like, there's literally a Korean flag here, a Japanese flag over there. And if you go in the middle, and I guided them to where they wanted to go, it's like, this is where all the Asian people are. And so we just stood there and danced. My outfits for EDC Orlando are a lot more crazier than what it is for Las Vegas. And that's because we drive to Orlando, so I'm able to bring more stuff
Yeah.
than having to pack it in an airplane and get it over there. Like I had moving wings.
Nice. Okay.
So that brought a lot of attention to me because my wings lit up and they moved. So when I'm like headbanging, all you see is my wings go, and they're like, "Oh, this girl's flying."
No, that's awesome that you're putting in effort for the outfits too. That's like one way to express yourself, at events.
Oh yeah, I love when it comes to like events like that. I love to do dress up and stuff like that.
Mhm.
It it adds a more of a touch to like your creativityness.
Yeah.
I like being creative. So adding those single touches or like doing like specific stuff for outfits. My family always get mad at me because they're like, "You don't want to match with us." I was like, "Because you just want to match colors and like weird. I mean, not weird, but like lame stuff. I want to go out
Do
there
more.
do more."
Valid, very valid. Okay, so you talked about your experiences of your like own rave bays and stuff, right? So how would you explain to anyone else how to get one from a guy's perspective and a girl's perspective if it's different?
I mean, the girls have it easier, but like, yeah, you gotta make sure you're having fun. Um, One thing I always want to recommend people is don't go out there expecting to have a rave bay or trying to get a rave bay, like as your goal,
Facts.
because at that point, what are you there for? You're supposed to be there for the vibes, for the music, um, and stuff like that. So I always don't recommend to try to do that, but like it's to say like go with the flow, you never know what's gonna happen. Like I never thought I would talk to someone about Valorant and then end up being their rave bait for the night. Like, no, I just went up there and went to go dance.
Okay, take notes,
Like,
guys. You have to talk to them. Okay.
make yourself open. Don't. A lot of people that don't get approached are the people that have um very like faces that are not fun. So like say like I wouldn't say like a stink face, but like a rest missing face. hmm so like you gotta make sure you provide the vibe that you're easy to talk to, like you're fun.
Hmm.
Because if you don't provide that hint that you are like that, they don't want to approach you because one thing is like one wrong thing show them your base face.
Uh-huh.
Um, so like yeah, so like it's definitely the vibe that you give off.
Yes.
If you give off the vibe that you're approachable, people will approach you and ask you stuff. Um, you can always, if you are really wanting to like get people to talk to and stuff like that, you can always um do something that makes you stand out. So like, for example, like my wings, I did it because I like doing wings. I like doing stuff like that, but it also made me stand out. So
Hmm.
people were like wanting to talk to me, wanting to like, oh, well, where do you get your wings from and stuff like that. Um, I had a guy ask me to be the Ray Bay for the night, but he couldn't even walk straight, so I was not dealing with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So be able to
Mm.
walk straight and show that you're not too effed up.
Yeah, show them that you're not too effed up because,
Okay.
you know, who wants to be taken advantage of? Or who wants to take care of someone else?
Hmm.
So yeah. I would say the biggest thing is making the vibe that you have, that you're approachable because other than that, nobody unless you're like dead drop beautiful with a stank face, um,
With the stank face.
like a rest bitching face,
Yeah,
you'd
yeah.
be approached still. But like if you're just like a regular old person, like you're not like the drop dead gorgeous or handsome like Jungkook, um, you just make yourself create a vibe that you are approachable.
Hmm. All right, and from the girl's perspective, right? Like I know guys usually initiate, but like, how do girls, like from your perspective, show that they're interested? What signs do they do?
Oh, they give you stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like, oh, do you want this? Or or can I ride your shoulders?
Okay, straight up ask for shoulder rides.
Um, that really happens. I'm just kidding. That usually happens within the friend group,
Oh, oh,
not to a
oh,
random
okay.
stranger. Um, but I would say to know a girl's interested. Like, if a girl thinks you're cute and she has bracelets, she will try to flirt with you to get your
Mm.
attention. So it starts off something small. Girls are really strategic with this stuff. It's either that or she gives you something.
Okay.
Like for me, um, I gave out at UC the light balls. You know, like the balls that glow up, and that's like at the bottom of drinks and stuff like that to make it light up. Um, so I gave
Oh,
like a
that's
little ball
cool.
that lights up,
Hmm.
and I had like thousands of it actually. So not a thousand, I had like hundreds of it. So I was giving it out to people, but like I was noticing like I would give a girl one, and like later on I would see her give it to someone out, like to a guy, and then they would start raving together. But I'm not sure if they knew each other, and most likely they didn't, considering that it was like a little awkward at first. But a lot of it has to do with the way they show interest is they offer something to you to get your attention.
Dang. Mika's spitting knowledge right now, guys. Awesome, awesome. And was that it? Just a way to get your attention, whether it's like giving stuff or maybe like probably giving
Mhm.
looks too.
I mean, I don't know about looks now. Looks can be very
Deceiving.
misunderstood, especially at raves, because people's eyes cross-eyed already.
Valid,
um,
true, 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 true.
People can't even look straight into the lasers.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, people might it might be looking like okay, so they might be feeling like they're just glancing at you, not
Uh-huh.
really looking at you, but you might think like, "Oh, she's staring at me." See, two different perspectives, two different
Delulu.
meanings.
Yeah.
Delusional.
Nah, bro,
So
she's fucked up. She's not looking at you. Okay. Got it. Got it. Thanks for the heads up.
yeah,
uh,
so definitely the vibes can be misconstrued very easily
mhm.
with eyes and looks. Unless you're like looking at you biting their lips, tongue out,
That's very
seducing you,
specific. Uh-huh.
then I wouldn't fall for it.
Okay. All right. Well, that wraps it up with my questions I've had for you, Mika. It's been super fun talking to you for a little over the past 2 hours. How are you feeling after this podcast episode?
I feel great. Like I always say, I'm very open, so um, you know, it's a vibe. I like talking about stuff, getting to connect with people on a deeper level than what they normally see as a streamer is just talking about games and stuff like that, but more on a level of like specific questions where we can open up the topic to different things. Like
Yeah.
as you see today, guys, one thing can lead to another topic so easily, and we can just run off the rails. Um, but it's honestly amazing opportunity to get to know people and also a great experience. I always enjoy doing events with you, Wilson.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. Do you have any last few words for everyone watching?
Yes, I do. Make sure you guys eat and drink water, make sure you get sleep, and it's almost Friday.
Hang in there, guys. Almost Friday. All right. Well, that wraps it up for this episode of Chat with Wilson, the podcast, episode 6, featuring Mika. Huge shout outs to Mika for being here. Remember, we have the exclamation guest command, which is a direct link to Mika's Twitch channel. Please do drop her a follow because she is getting close to 1,000. 1,000 follows is a huge milestone. I remember when I hit that and it was a really special occasion. For Mika, she's going to be hosting her own Valorant tournament once she reaches that milestone. So please do drop that follow. And for
Hmm.
everyone watching at home on YouTube, whether it's not like later in the day, make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you guys, and see you in the next episode. All right, peace.